Before we get started, it has nothing to do with drawing, but I wanted to say that since I got my ear pierced, everything went well, and I just yesterday changed the ring, so now I have the old one laying around. Anyway, let's get to drawing. Well, hello there, I'm Détroit. I'm gonna make two drawings today. There's a warm-up drawing, and then what I would usually call a proper drawing, but you'll see it's very subjective. You were never supposed to see this city-street cross-hatching, but I decided to still include it in the video. You see, these days I'm in a bit of a slump. I can't draw. You have periods where everything feels right, and then there are the art drought periods. Right now, I'm having a lot of trouble with my art. I'm a bit unmotivated, but it's more of a case of whatever I draw doesn't feel right. It's either not interesting, or straight up bad. But it's more complicated than that. I do draw every day for personal projects, but once I turn on the camera, I just can't manage anything good. It's a very strange situation. So, because I can't draw anything these days, I decided not to draw one thing, but two for this video. It's a paradox, I know, but I figured maybe quantity would compensate for quality? Or, I don't know, maybe forcing myself will take me out of the feeling of not being able to draw. This drawing, that again was initially a warm-up, is kind of a sketch, but with ink. I'm using a Kawiko Sport fountain pen with a black ink cartridge that is absolutely not fancy, and I'm sketching away. I like the Kawiko Sport for that because it's very thin. The nib is tiny, so I can redo a line a bunch of times before I find the right place or the right orientation. Because this is a warm-up, I don't really care about cleanliness of the lines. Being in a slump sucks. My imagination is gone, and I don't feel motivated by the huge list of drawings I want to make. I feel like attempting ideas that I deem very good won't turn out the way I want, and I don't want to waste good ideas like that. But maybe I should. I don't know, you tell me. Anyway, for this street I'm sketching, I did use a reference. This way at least it takes care of the lack of imagination problem. The other day I was walking through town and I specifically took this picture so that I would have it to draw. It's a small street in the city center, the old center. The streets are all curved and weird and very small and really nice to draw. I'm pretty sure in the 1400 something they made streets like this with strange angles to break the cold wind during winter. It makes for something nice to draw. I did take some liberties with stuff like windows and shadows. Even perspective. I kinda eyeballed it and it doesn't look great, especially in the right side of the picture. But at least it got me moving and it took away some of the rust that accumulated on my drawing hand. Once I was done with this hatching, I quickly moved on to another drawing, that you are about to see of course. I did the second drawing right after the warm-up. Again, this was supposed to be the proper drawing, but it turned out a bit too basic and too short for it to be a whole video by itself. I don't know if I made the right choice. Again, you tell me. I probably could have rolled with it. I would have written a whole 6 or 8 minute script about it and that would have been the video. I definitely have done that in the past. Just a few times, but I still did it. Some videos are a bit rushed and they lack the spark, you know. But I didn't do that today. I wanted to expose the truth that sometimes drawings don't turn out that great and it's okay. So this second drawing, I didn't have much of an idea of what to draw, so I started with big bubbles here and there. When came the time to fill in the bubbles, I stopped the recording and thought about it for a while. Nothing came up, so I turned the cameras on again and I started making lines through the bubbles. And then I cut the recording again. To be fully honest with you, it was a very painful experience. That of having absolutely no idea what you're doing. I ended up continuing to fill the bubbles with dashed lines. The first lines I made, the full ones, would be my indicator on the orientation of the dashed lines. And that's pretty much what I did for the rest of this drawing. Now, I could have done it, but you understand why I didn't want to make a whole video out of it? What could have I said about it that would take more than 30 seconds? Even now I'm running out of ideas of what to say about it. I think next time I do a similar drawing, I will make a cool shape that is much bigger and then fill it with the dashed lines, but going in all directions. I'm telling you about the bad experience that this week was for me as it was. I have to say though that now, as in the present of when I'm making this video, days after the drawings were complete, I do feel a bit better about my drawing ability. I am on the track to going back to the good art period. I'm starting to have good ideas again, and soon I will take to my XP Pen tablet to make a digital painting for next week. So you should definitely subscribe. If you enjoyed today's drawing despite what I'm feeling about them, then you're definitely gonna love what I make in the future. Because it all comes down to this, right? These are just drawings. They are not important at all in the grand scheme of things. Even on my art's journey, these are just 2 things I don't love in the middle of hundreds others I'm proud of. Take a look at my Instagram at d3_sd. I have 400 plus posts in there, all of different drawings. The best of my ink drawings, to only talk about them, is on my alternate account, d3_ink. While it's only a small part of all my art, it still has more than 80 drawings I deem very good, aesthetically pleasing, or complex enough that I can be proud of them. So whenever you are in an art slump like I am, don't worry about it too much, okay? You'll be fine, it's just temporary. Look at the rest of what you have achieved, not to compare it with today, but to remember that you can do things well. I hope you watched the video long enough to hear me go from a negative to a positive mindset, and if you too are in a bad art day, I hope it helped you or comforted you a bit. Here are the 2 drawings I made today. In retrospect, while the second one is very simple, it does look satisfying and aesthetically pleasing, so there's that. Please subscribe and like the video. The like button is supposed to mean that you like the content. People tend to forget that and regard it as just something YouTubers just ask you to do. I want to bring it back to something to express your agreement with the content, or that you didn't waste your time and you had a good experience. I'm D3 and I'll see you in a week. Bye!